Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Alright team, today we're going to be tuning into another clip from Austin Rivers, the off guard. We just did a video where he was talking about Dylan Harper in the backcourt, I believe, where he was saying let the guys cook, do not trade one of the guards. But in this video today, they're going to talk about his bad game, his bad performance. And I'm recording this after the Lakers game, which followed up another stinker, but this was dropped after the Suns game. And I'm expecting that they're going to talk about how he bounces back, because the title of the video is unpacking how Wemby responds after poor outings. And it's unfortunate because we didn't see Wemby bounce back. We saw a little bit of the same things. Some of that's not all his fault. Some of that is the team, the way they're trying to get Wemby the ball, the preparation that goes into responding on how to be double teamed. So it is a team thing, but I think there are areas that Victor Wembanyama has to improve on, and I think he knows that, and we will see that in the future. But until then, let's go ahead and tune in and see what Austin Rivers has to say about Victor Wembanyama. And I will be down here so I'm not in anybody's way.
I like your pick. You have him as MVP. I think it's a good pick.
Well, you know what? I thought so. Last night he had his first bad game of the season against the Suns, and the Suns did a really good job the way they handled him. But I think he had 9 points, and I kind of thought we were past those days where he would have a bad game. You know, like if Jokic or SGA, one of these guys, they have a bad game, it's still like 18, 12, and 5, but it's their bad game. Last night Wemby
That's
had
the
a
difference.
very just
That's the
he
difference.
still hasn't
Like
gotten over that hump, I guess.
yeah, that's a fair point. Like a bad game for Luka's like 26 points. He had 29 last night. People were like, oh, I thought he's gonna go for 40 again. You know, he like normalized it. He played the first 5 games, he has 40, and now like if he doesn't have 40, people are like, what's wrong with him? It's like, bro, 40 is a special game.
What's wrong?
Yeah, like
That was one of my points too. I dropped it on X. If y'all don't follow me, go ahead and follow me. I mentioned how we didn't feel Wemby's impact. And when you're supposed to be in those MVP talks, which after these couple of games, I don't think he is ready for the MVP. There is just some things he has to learn, and that's okay. He's only 21 years old. But like they just said, Luka, Shea, Giannis, they're not getting held to 9 points. And some of that is the Spurs do have a younger team, except for OKC. They're just an anomaly. But even when you do look at them, they are a few years older than the Spurs, and that makes a difference. But these are all just a part of the growing pains. I think actually watching the game, it's way more frustrating than when you can actually think about what happened and realize that this is still a young team. And yes, it's frustrating, but they're just things that they're going to have to learn to take those next steps. So I do think Wemby will get to the point where he won't have these games under 10 points, but he's just not there yet.
some of these guys are nuts. But yeah, that's true. He might not be over that. Like Shea's not scoring 9 points, man. You know what I mean? Like it's just he's getting 12 free throws alone. So it's like it's not happening. That might be the difference. That only happens because he doesn't go to the basket enough. It's my only ever gripe with his skill. Sometimes is to his detriment. I talked about this with Giannis, my interview with him for Eye for the Game, which will launch pretty damn soon here. I talked about it. I was like, bro, you always talk about people always talk about like your skill level. If you had a jump shot, would that take away from the things that you're great at? He's like if Shaq could shoot threes, he wouldn't have dunked as much because he's shooting threes. So it's part of Wemby's gifts of him being so talented and guard oriented, which are fantastic because he's unguardable in these ways. Granted, sometimes it does hinder him in ways when I start thinking about how it takes him away from the paint. There's no one down there to guard him. So when I see him have 9 points, the reason why I'm like he can't be past that hump yet because 9 points should come off free throws alone for him a night. A night. Austin Reeves gets 10 free throws a game, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these guys get. Yeah. Luka Doncic gets to the line whenever he wants. Shea walks to the line 6-7 times per period, per quarter. So it's like when I see Wemby having 9 points, someone who's 7'6", I'm just like, how many times did he settle? How was he pushed out the paint because of his weight? Do you know what I'm saying? There are some things that like he has to get over.
No, I agree, but then there's also, he's not dominant like a Shaq. He's not dominant like a Giannis. He's not going to bulldoze you. And I mean, he did show us some of that against the Mavericks, and you do got to give us some of that. But I do think there's a huge difference between when you talk about Wemby trying to dominate and a Giannis trying to dominate. One of my frustrations is Wemby not shooting those three-point shots anymore. Yes, I like the fact that he's toned down on that volume from last season because sometimes he would just shot chuck. But I think threes have to be a big part of his game because you look at last season when he was able to have people biting on those pump fakes, they're not really going for those pump fakes anymore. They're going to let him shoot the three because his jump shot doesn't look as good as it did last year. So what I would like is for him to find more of the balance instead of just going heavy threes or heavy in the paint, because as of right now, he's just posting up and trying to get into the post every single time. I would like to see him mix in some of the perimeter centric stuff with the post touches, and I think that would be the perfect balance, because you get your jump shot flowing, you get people biting on the pump fakes, and then you're able to bulldoze people in the paint. So my thing is, it doesn't have to be one or the other. I want to see a little bit of both, and maybe that's what Wemby's working towards. Not to go on a tangent, but I feel like his career has been arc developments. You know, at first you have his rookie year where he's trying to figure it out. Second season he's trying to be Kevin Durant. He's trying to shoot a whole bunch of threes. Now this season he's trying to be Hakeem and Dirk in the post. So I do think there's a benefit to that, gradually learning all these elements and parts of your game, and then you're going to put them all together in your prime. But it's going to be a struggle going through these rough patches. But once you get to the end and he can put it all together, he's going to be unstoppable.
You know, he was 4 for 14 last night, 1 for 5 from 3-point. He had 0 free throws, Pasha. 0 free throws. It's impossible. It's impossible. And he's skinny. So anytime you drive and bounce off somebody, it looks like a foul. He should be getting fouled all game.
Yeah.
So that's my issue with him. That's the next level for him.
That reminds me of, like, it's the same logic with Steph being able to drive, right? Like, you still want him to shoot threes, and every now and then when he's around, because Steph can finish, right? And he can finish around the rim. He's very crafty. But he doesn't just do that instead of shooting threes, right? Like, he shoots his threes, and then he'll break your back with a crazy finish, and that's when you're like, oh, okay, how do you go? Like, Wemby should be still eating around the basket, and then a three-pointer or a crazy shot comes to kind of seal the deal. It shouldn't be your go-to.
That should be the icing. His steady diet should be in the paint. He should have a steady diet of being in the paint. In terms of everything else, that's all dessert. The three-point line, the crazy moves, the plays, I have no problem with that, but I need you to establish yourself in the paint every game. You know, Steph hits those crazy threes, but he also has floaters and he'll have a wide open midi, and he gets to the basket because people are overplaying the three. He has a steady diet of mixing it up. If Steph just launched bad threes the entire game, he would be a fraction of the player who he is. He'd be Duncan Robinson. You know what I mean? Like, Duncan Robinson just runs around and fires tough threes and he can shoot. So that's what he's out there to do. He does a good job of that, but he's not a star player or anything like that because that's what he does. If guys who have the ability use it, that's the problem. Sometimes Wemby has too much. He has too much game. Sometimes I see.
So he said dessert, and I know I'm cutting him off. I'm sorry. I don't think the three-point shot should be your dessert. I think it should be the side. You know what I'm saying? You got your burger or whatever as your main course, and that could be him feasting down low, because I think he's been very dominant and very efficient when those double teams aren't taking advantage of him. But then you have the side. You have your fries on the side. You know what I'm saying? That could be your three-point shot. That should be your jump shooting, all the other stuff. And then your drink is your foul baiting. You're getting to the free throw line. I know we don't like Shea, we don't like Luka for getting to the line, but to be an elite team, to win a championship, you're going to need a elite player who knows how to draw those fouls. So you got your whole meal right there. You got your burger, the main course, getting down low, easy, efficient buckets, the Hakeem stuff. Your fries on the side is what you worked on, the KD stuff, shooting your threes, getting people off their feet with the pump fake, and then you have your drink to finish off the combo, and that is getting to the free throw line. I know that's a crazy reference, comparing his shot diet to an actual meal, but that's just the way I feel. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments section. Let's see if they got anything else before we get out of here.
See him out there dribbling. I'm like, bro, I just would love to drop it to you in the post, have you face up, and now it's 1-on-1 with you 4 feet from the basket. You're 7'6", do the math. He's unguardable. Even if you cut him off, he'd just shoot over people. Can't guard him. I would really, sometimes the evolution of our game, the bag work is so important to all these players, of them getting their skill.
Okay, I think we're going to end it right there, but final thought is, he's mentioned they could just throw it down to him 4 feet away from the basket. As easy as it sounds, they're sending 2 as soon as he's trying to catch the ball. Like, they're not letting him catch the ball. That's the problem. And when he does catch the ball, he stands there for about 10 seconds, letting the defense settle in, like, okay, what are we going to do? There has to be some times where he just catches the ball, rip through, and just try to go up for a layup. That's also a part of where he's going to get his free throws from. Making a quick, decisive move, catching the defense off guard instead of having him stand there. I saw a quote from Mitch Johnson telling Wemby that you hold on to the ball and the defense don't move until you make a move. You decide everything on the court. And although that is correct, there has to be some times where you try to catch them off guard, where you try to keep them on your toes, because if you just stand there, letting them kind of get in position, think about what they have to do, you're really at disadvantage because you're maybe overthinking. That leads to a turnover. You're letting the defense get settled, so now they're in positioning. There has to be quicker, more decisive moves, and I think we will get there, but as of right now, we just got to go through that learning curve. But y'all leave y'all's thoughts down below in the comment section, man. What did y'all think about the Lakers game, about the Suns game? Where do y'all think Wemby's at right now as a player? Where do y'all think the team's at? All of that. Let me know down below. Oh, and one thing actually before we get out of here. My dad wanted me to give him a shout out on the channel, so shout out to my dad. If you're watching this, there you go. Shout out to you, Dad. I love you. And make sure you leave a like on the video. But I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.